Welcome to another episode.
Sorry, the disdain and disinterest with which he brought us into this week's episode of the podcast has never been seen before. Whatever. I'm forced to do this.
No, that's not what the whatever.
That's what it felt like.
The whatever was, it was because we were setting up a timer to see how long the podcast would be, and I just decided I didn't want to get into that level of technical support. That's not how I want to start the podcast. What I wanted to start the podcast with, by the way, welcome to the podcast. What I wanted to start the podcast with was what you said to me just before going on, which is whatever it takes to get people to stop believing in God.
Listen.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast. I was like, man, we just do facts. This isn't a lecture on divinity. We can't explain the context of that. But there you go. That's Dave's very strong opinion on all organised religions. Welcome to this light and breezy podcast. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here.
Can I just say thank you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for having me in your studio every week.
Yes.
You are a kind and gentle man. I'm always offered a cup of tea. I didn't take one today. I might have it before we do the...
In a Dave Moore
usually
mug
in a Dave
Moore
mug, yeah. But I will say, you're a very kind person to allow us to do this, because we were looking for a space.
Yeah.
It just suddenly kind of fell into our laps in this conversation that we could do it here. I do have a complaint.
Oh.
And I don't want to start the podcast episode on the wrong foot.
Well, I'll tell you what you do. Write your complaint. I want you to write your complaint, fill it in triplicate, and we have one of those old-fashioned, those vacuum systems.
Fantastic.
You can't see it now. I'll shove it up the chimney and it will go up to the complaints bureau upstairs, and I promise it'll be addressed.
I don't even want to say complaint. It's a concern.
Okay.
Now, it's a very easy trope for me to pick on you for the fact that you're shorter than I am.
Yes.
Just slightly. Not much.
Enough.
Several inches.
Yes.
I'm not exceptionally tall. In fact, the other day, my son is obsessed with height.
Okay. You're 6 foot.
See, this is what I would always say. I'm a 6 foot tall man.
Yeah.
My son is obsessed with height. His favorite person in the world is Robert Wadlow, the person we've done the episode on, size 36 feet, tallest person who's ever lived.
Yeah.
Sam recently overtook my wife in height. He's 13.
Okay.
He's taller than she is. My eldest son, Andrew, is taller than me. He's 6'1". He's 16. So there.
Is this the light in the corridor?
Not in the corridor. No.
Okay. Is there,
right, just
go on.
slow down. Relax. He knows where I'm going.
Okay.
I am 6 feet tall. We met because Sam was excited to be taller than Tracy. They got out the measuring tape. And they measured him and they measured her, and he was a centimetre taller, whatever it was.
Right,
2 centimetres. And then began the conversation of like, maybe I'll be 6 foot like Dad. And Tracy going, he's not 6 foot.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I am. She's like, you're not. So I stood up. I was measured. 182 centimetres. Okay. Apparently is 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
I've always said I was 182 centimetres. Yeah. I realise I'm a middle-aged man now, and perhaps my
you might have lost a little bit.
I didn't expect to be 180 centimetres.
You would have been 182 when you were 20,
would I?
I'd say.
Right, okay. So 2 centimetres, like...
I would have thought so.
Yes.
So what's your complaint about...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So I am a almost 6 foot, maybe 5'11" and a half.
Yeah.
And often... I am of the age now where when I arrive at a venue, whatever it is, no matter how short the duration of the car ride has been, my body says, you need to go to the toilet.
Okay.
Right?
I'm really looking forward to where this is going.
You need to go to the bathroom now. And I go, no, I don't. I'm fine. I just went for a lap. Go to the toilet or you'll wet your pants. So usually before the episode starts, I will say, can I just use your bathroom?
Yeah.
Very kindly. And it's a gorgeous bathroom. I have to say. It is one of my, I'd say, top 5 favourite bathrooms on earth.
Yeah.
But there is one problem. And that is when I stand in the bathroom.
Because it's under the...
It is under the stairs.
Stairs, yes.
Now, I am a man... Sorry, I should say, I am a man who loves a sit-down wee. In fact, I had a nickname in school in Belvedere called Sit-Down Dave. Because the lads would notice a lot of the time when we went into... I wouldn't use the urinals.
Yeah.
I would go in, shut the door, sit, and they're like,
okay.
Are you doing a poo? I was like, no, I'm just going to the... Sit down, Dave. So when I go into your bathroom and I wee... This is what happens. Now, Diarmuid, if you can put that up on the screen, okay? My head is in the lamp, which has been installed. Obviously, your good lady wife never experienced this. She just, like all ladies, will sit down. I'm sure you just must duck underneath this.
Because there is because that is if there's 5 inches or 4 inches in the height, well then that is bang, and that protrudes from. It
does. It's from the sloped ceiling. So I know I'm in the right place if my head is up against the light fixture.
So that's why when I go into that look, you've never weed on the seat because do you know when people can't judge the depth of parking a car in a garage and they hang a tennis ball on a piece of string. That's our equivalent to you because we looked at you. Okay, I got time to be honest here. We looked at you and we thought, there's a pisser on a seater.
There's a pisser
on
a make seater. A mess.
So what we need to do is when he feels the hot burn of a protruding
incandescent bulb
on his forehead,
then he knows he's in the right.
Because you're never in there for very long as well. Like you're emptying the bladder as soon as possible.
Because the bladder isn't even that full. It's just I'm a middle-aged man and it's just
that is amazing.
So
I will point that out to my lady wife.
I'll send you
and we will hopefully go off and buy an even hotter light bulb until you come out looking like, is it Daredevil or one of those guys, or was it Bullseye. Who had it on his forehead.
I once bought a 200 watt bulb,
right,
and that thing got hotter than. I think if you put that in there, and I know,
if you turned the 200 watt bulb on in Portmarnock, ships presumably would just beach onto the. Well, no, I suppose the opposite. They did know to ignore the beach. Okay, well that is funny.
Sorry,
because when you come into the house. So we've a kind of a fancy light out there,
yes,
and I know, like taller people, 6 foot and above.
Yeah, no, I do.
That's
I just
an issue
avoid
there.
that.
But I didn't think that's amazing.
Sorry.
Anyway, this is a podcast about facts.
It's a fact,
and we've learned that taller people have different needs and small people.
They do.
Okay,
I want to bring you for my part of this episode to an amazing place.
We've no time.
Oh yeah, we've no time. Whole time.
Go on.
Yeah, and your clock doesn't work. So we could talk forever. I want to bring you to New Jersey.
Okay.
In the late 70s.
The most densely populated state in the Union.
I did not know
and
that.
we're off with a fact. Go on.
Look at that. Take that one. There's a guy called Eugene Mulvihill. If he isn't of Irish descent, right?
Yeah.
Eugene likes fast cars, fast money. It's the 70s, lots to go around, okay? He decides that the people of New York and New Jersey deserve the pump and dump penny stock scheme that you may remember from The Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
When Leonardo DiCaprio's character is making those phone calls and trying to convince ordinary people to part them. He does a load of that.
Okay.
Gets him rich.
Right.
Gets him not very popular with a lot of people.
You'd imagine so.
He gets pushed out of the finance world.
Okay.
And he decides for another way to make money. What is Neil Delamere's favorite thing in the world right now? Family, friends, and three-legged dogs aside. What's your favorite thing in the world?
I've recently become obsessed with something I'm extremely bad at, which is skiing.
Skiing.
Am I right?
Eugene Mulvihill took a leaf out of your book. He bought a resort in New Jersey.
Oh my God.
Called Great George Ski Resort in Vernon Valley. And it's just, there's one problem for someone like Eugene who loves money with a ski resort.
Right.
Can you guess what it is?
He
wants to make money.
But nobody skis there.
Oh no, people ski. Oh, it's hugely popular. It's making money. Woo, woo, woo. But there's a massive problem. His balance sheet every year has an issue. And the issue is summertime. No snow.
So 6 months a year.
No ski.
Work. Yeah.
Exactly. So he decides he'll add 2 alpine slides. Okay. And an alpine slide, in case you don't know, is a slippery, smooth, concrete luge track that runs down a mountain, and it doesn't need snow. You can go anytime you like, and you sit in a little device, and it has a bar, little, in between your legs, a little bar. If you push the bar forward, you go fast. If you pull the bar towards you, you go slow. Simple as. So when he's building this, obviously there's a technique, there is engineering involved. As I said, Eugene likes money, so he doesn't like anything like that. So the people he gets to design, engineer, and test the alpine ski slopes that he's putting in our slides are the underpaid, underage ski resort workers. Right. The teenagers. They go, go down this way and then swing around there. And then they build it. They get the builders in to build the thing. No engineers involved. They just build these 2 unbelievably fast alpine slides.
So the people whose brains are still developing, who are programmed to not understand risk until they get older, and he allows them... people whose bones will heal from any serious injuries. Yeah, he gets them to design it.
So you've hit on a number of correct points there.
As he did going down the mountain, but it looks
so very popular during the wintertime.
Okay.
Equally popular during the summertime. Okay. In fact, more so because those who couldn't go skiing decided this is a downhill pursuit.
It must be safe as well.
Well, you say that. No. Lots of broken bones, lots of head trauma.
Oh, no.
Okay. But the logic is that that's just the goody two shoes.
Oh, okay.
That's just the people who don't like fun.
Right.
They don't like adrenaline. We're not building this resort for people like that. He hatches a plan, Eugene. He decides he's going to have there an all summer water and motor based park with free flowing beer and free flowing fun and call it Action Park.
Right.
Okay. So he started with his 2 slides.
Yeah.
And then he put in a racetrack.
Yeah.
And he put in go-karts. It got bigger and bigger. And by 1978, Action Park claimed to be the world's largest water park with 75 wild and wet rides, shows, and attractions.
Wow.
There were minimal rules. There was maximum thrill. His logic was you build rides that are fast, forget proper engineering. The park wasn't accidentally dangerous. Like, it wasn't that they built the things and then went, ooh, whoops. They went, what can we build that is faster, more exciting, more adrenaline-filled? And is it dangerous? It better be dangerous.
And did people have to kind of sign away waivers or something like this?
We will get to the insurance of this. We will get to it.
You might as well bet. If I was that, I would just design those rides to end up in the hospital. So you would go down and you would end up in the car park of the hospital.
This is foreshadowing, Neil. This is foreshadowing.
Really? Okay.
You don't know it, but this is foreshadowing. His quote, when asked about this, as you can imagine, journalists ask the question and concerned citizens. Yeah. He said, people should control their own risk, was his exact quote.
Such a capitalist American thing to say.
So it grew and grew. Action Park. It became a rite of passage for teenagers from all over the East Coast, but particularly the New York, New Jersey area. The motor world was the first major area to be developed. They had a tank ride, okay, where you'd sit in these little steel kind of buggies. They had mesh, windows and windscreen, and you had a cannon at the front that shot tennis balls at other tanks.
Okay.
And on the side of the tank was a little target, and if you hit the target with a tennis ball, it would disable the cannon of the other tank, and that's how you would win.
Yeah.
You could also, if you didn't want to drive the tank, operate a machine gun tennis ball cannon from outside the rink, and you could shoot away. As you can imagine, again with the lack of engineering quality, there were a lot of errors, a lot of issues with the disabling of the cannons in the tanks. They would be disabled and they wouldn't be re-enabled. Right. But it was supposed to be gone for 15 seconds. Yeah. Obviously, a mechanical thing would then pop back out. Yeah. It never popped back out. So the staff would have to come into the rink and figure out manually how to do it. The staff got absolutely pummeled by everybody. The people in the tanks.
You would.
The people. It was an absolute nightmare to work at because you were completely getting slammed with tennis balls. And these things fired them. They were pneumatic.
I would bring my own ammunition. Because if it'll fire a tennis ball, it'll fire a golf ball. I mean, it's smaller, but that's like the equivalent of a hollow point. I mean, you're like, that's an armor-piercing round, that is. You're going to hit it by its side of the head in a Titleist. Like, you're doing savage damage.
So, the second part, there had 2 types of go-kart tracks, okay? One is a pretty basic little go-karts, and they go a maximum of 20 miles per hour.
Okay.
Except.
Right.
Some of the workers figured out that if you put a tennis ball from the tank game into a certain part of the go-kart engine, you could max out at 60 miles per hour. Neil,
you've trebled the speed of a tiny go-kart.
Like, and you're literally talking about, when I say tiny, I mean you are sitting on The engine is up your back. There's a tiny plastic chair, and the rest of it is just a flat piece of fiberglass and 4 wheels. Like it is so insanely an
60
engine.
60 miles an hour.
Yeah. Head-on collisions. Frequently send people to the hospital. The fumes from the tennis ball engines overwhelm lots of patrons, especially the younger kids, who the ride was supposedly designed for.
There's nothing like a passed out child on a 60 mile an hour go-kart to get the Thanksgiving weekend off to an amazing start.
They also had these other mini race cars. They looked kind of like the era correct late 70s Formula One cars.
Okay.
But they were smaller. And you'd sit in there. They went super fast too. In fact, park staff, the underpaid, underage teenagers who ran the place, they would drive them on the freeway because they were as fast as other cars, but they were these little enclosed Formula One style cars. And, you know, they
weighed 25 kilos.
If even.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they also then developed water world. They had 2 water rides. One was bumper boats. So, you know, they're like a ring.
Yeah.
And you sit in it and you steer or whatever. And they kind of just bump into each other, a bit like bumper cars or whatever. Seems safe enough. But if you were more than 5 feet tall, your legs dangled over the side. So guess what happens when you smash a motorized dinghy, circular dinghy thing into someone else and you both have your legs out? Fractures. Hundreds and thousands of fractures.
This should have been called like Alton concussion.
You're so on the right track. You just please bear with me. There's so many things you're foreshadowing. The other one was speedboats, right? That you could drive in a creek, an actual natural creek.
Okay.
A creek which had lots of snakes, Neil, because it's a natural creek. So this led to remarkably lots of snake bites. Patrons also took the style of play from the bumper boats out onto the creek in the speedboats. They ramming was just commonplace when it wasn't supposed to be at all because it's so massively dangerous. And it led to lifeguards being placed all the way along the creek to rescue people who fell out of the upturned speedboat.
Unless they're dressed as St. Patrick and have a whistle on a chair.
But guess who the lifeguards were? The underage staff who had no qualifications whatsoever, who would then just wade into creeks, try and help people, get bitten by snakes, and then move on.
When Eugene Mulvihill's still with us?
No, he isn't.
Okay. Well, when he died, did they ever go through his papers and they find out that he's like a proponent of the idea that the world is overpopulated and something needs to be done, and all of this is just this weird...
You're a naysayer.
Malthusian idea.
This guy believed in risk,
just freedom,
fun, freedom.
But he seems to be thinking of several hundred different Bond villain type ways that he can injure random people.
Well, we're not finished with Motorworld yet. One of the major issues they had with Motorworld was they physically set it up in the park because it was beside the microbrewery beer tent. Yes, they had their own microbrewery beer tent. All of the grown-ups who went in Motorworld were lamped, and most of the teenagers were as well. Okay, so the staff who would be bought a beer by a guy who'd say, "Can you make my go-kart go faster?"
Oh no!
So they go, "Yes, sir. If you buy me a beer," he buys them a beer. Staff's getting lamped. They're tennis ball on the go-kart. All of this is happening. But if you thought that was bad, wait to hear the next bit, because now we move on to Waterworld, okay? This is where Action Park actually made its money and where it led to its downfall. There was the tidal wave pool. It was a 200-foot by 100-foot pool that could fit up to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And they would turn on a machine and it would make a wave come down. The waves got up to like over 3 feet. Huge, like that's a huge wave in a pool that size. There was an area just beyond shoulder height. Why is there a pool beyond shoulder height when you're doing this? Anyway, there was an area just beyond shoulder height which was called the Death Zone. This was the internal name for it. Okay. The lifeguard staff called it that. When you became a lifeguard at the tidal wave pool, your training consisted of this. You spent 45 minutes in the chair in the death zone, and you would save the lives of between 5 and 10 people in 45 minutes. And if you did that, everything else in the pool was a breeze. Everything else in the park was a breeze because you had been through the challenge of saving countless people's lives when they turned on the waves. They re-nicknamed, again, internally and externally, re-nicknamed the tidal wave pool the tidal grave pool.
Oh my God.
Yeah. and we'll get to what actually happened there. There's the Tarzan rope swing. The Tarzan rope swing is standard enough in a lot of water parks where you swing out on a thing and you let go and you drop into a pool of water. Everything so far we've talked about, other than the creek with the speedboats, is man-made.
Yeah.
Man-made pools, whatever. So the water temperature can be controlled. This is into a full, deep lake, creek type scenario you're dropping into. Hundreds of guests a day had to be life-saved because of cold water shock.
Yeah.
It's 85 degrees. The sun is out. You've been drinking beer all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the Tarzan. They flip in. Like, completely need to be rescued. Then there was Geronimo Falls. Geronimo Falls was a full-on vertical drop where you cross your arms and your legs, a little trapdoor slides, and you fall down.
A trapdoor, you say?
Yes.
A Whisper Flaps Pro?
No, they didn't. They couldn't
It was
afford
pre-Whisper.
It was it wasn't even available, the Whisper Flaps Pro. There were so many smashed arms, legs, head trauma events from that. They had another one that had an actual loop-the-loop in a water slide, and they paid staff $100 to be brave enough to try it out when they were first bringing it on. Bloody noses, smashed ribs, head injuries, all these things happen. Because think about it, you're in a plastic water slide. You go down at 1 billion miles an hour and then do a loop. But of course you bang off things.
Yeah.
You're not in any protection. It's just you. They had the Colorado River ride, which 4 people got into a dinghy and went down a man-made thrill-seeking river run. But poor design, again, the teenagers. Poor design meant it bottlenecked all the time. So when it bottlenecks and you have 8 rafts stuck trying to paddle their way into the next section, other lads are coming in at 1,000 miles an hour, smashing them all into walls, and people going up the sides, like going out of the river in their dinghies.
This sounds so dangerous in terms of that people want that want the thrill of it, that the only thing missing from the Colorado water ride is you come down the raft and then there's a child playing a banjo. Ding, 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 ding.
This is the
and
only
then
thing.
some point later, they're squealing like a pig, and it's all part of the risk-reward scenario.
Look, unfortunately, this story does not end well for a lot of reasons. Okay.
No, okay.
The kayak experience was kayaking down a river.
Yeah. Eaten by a polar bear.
No, the water was a man-made river. But the water was moved by underwater fans. Seems like a great idea.
Okay.
How do you power the fans? Oh yeah, electricity.
With water.
Is it well put together? No. A person in the 80s got out of there, or flipped their kayak. Someone flipped them. They got out to right their kayak. The river was shallow enough to stand.
Yeah.
Stood on an exposed cable, was electrocuted. A week later, died in hospital.
Oh, no.
Okay, and that is not the only fatality.
Oh, my.
A lawsuit took place and a court found in favour of Action Park. But the ride was never reopened after that.
Okay.
But found in favour of them. Look, this is the 80s in America. A lot of the reasons it would have gone their way in court were things like people knew what they were getting in for. Like, it's Action Park. So we advertise it as...
At your own risk.
Almost at your own risk. There were 6 fatalities at Action Park during its run from the late 70s until it closed in the 90s. It was so notorious, this is where you were foreshadowing, for injuries that healthcare workers nicknamed it Accident Park,
Okay.
Traction Park.
Oh, that's good.
Friction Park.
Okay.
And as is the name of an unbelievable documentary about this, Class Action Park.
Oh, that's very good.
To offset this reputation, Action Park bought the local hospitals ambulances that were stationed at Action Park because of the frequency with which they would make runs to the local A&Es.
No.
Yes.
Imagine that being your first instinct. Will we reduce, people can still have fun,
Sure.
but with some degree of control and safety. Say if it's 100% dangerous, we'll bring it down to 80% dangerous and save loads and loads of people. No. We will purchase the paramedic vehicles.
Yes.
And make a few bob possibly.
Or I think the idea was that they would be seen by the hospitals and other health as
quicker.
Good members of society. Like look at them buying us ambulances.
Yeah.
They're only buying ambulances because they are injuring all these people.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, how could a park that cause so many injuries and sadly deaths remain open. Well, it is all about that kind of lax 80s health and safety era. But also, as you foreshadowed, it needed to be insured.
Yeah.
Who's going to insure this place?
Yeah.
I'll tell you who insured it. Eugene, with his fake offshore insurance company. That's right. He set that up with some other controversial business figures, was rumbled, and eventually pled guilty to some insurance fraud charges. The whole action park itself was closed down in 1996. It has since reopened several times under different names, once by his son. I think his name is Leo. I could be wrong about that. But once by his son. But it is now, if it is open, it's now called something Vernon Adventures. It's the action park is no longer the name.
It'll be grand, I promise. Park.
Yeah. That's action park.
Set up an insurance company.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he knows how insanely dangerous this is, you would suggest. If you think no one else is going to insure this, I will
have to set up my own company.
Offshore. Wow. That is
Eugene Mulvihill and Action Park.
Oh, God. I mean,
that.
Part 2 is full of incident, but it's not full of that much incident.
I'm glad it shouldn't
much
be.
Nice. Well, it starts off a bit dark, and then it gets nice. Then
okay, good. I'm glad. Okay.
Part 2 to see if Dave's still here or if he comes back.
No.
Let's see if you know if we take a break. If you come back in and he's just burnt, he's got like a birthmark on top of his head, but it's actually the imprint of a 200 watt bulb. Join us in part 2 where I'll try and I'm going to complain about the things I've seen in Dave's house.
Fair. Welcome back to part 2 of Why Would You Tell Me That with me, Dave Moore, him, Neil Delamere, and it is now Neil's turn after a class action park to wow us with facts and stories and amazing things.
First one is amazing. I don't think you'll know it. You might know it. Dom Jolly. Do you know Dom Jolly?
Hello, I'm on the phone.
Yes, UK comedian. Trigger Happy was probably the most famous one. Went on to do dark tours as well. Wrote books about it. Made documentaries. Dom Jolly. I saw a clip of him recently. Was in school. With Osama bin Laden.
No, hang on.
Yes.
Hang on. You've got to have something wrong here.
Dom Jolly was in school with Osama bin Laden.
Okay.
Who's the most famous person you've been in school with? In this school at the same time as you. You went to quite posh school, so
I was gonna say, like, I could have said James Joyce, Dr. Gareth Fitzgerald, Prime Minister of Ireland.
Yeah. Taoiseach
Ian
for
Dempsey. Taoiseach, yes.
Yes.
Ian Dempsey from radio.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the best radio guy. I'm the second best radio guy.
Do you say that out loud or do you really believe that?
Oh, no. I say it out loud that Ian's the best. I'd never say out loud that I'm the second best. Except for here. It's a safe space.
Okay, yeah. But do you really think you're the best is my question?
No.
Okay.
No, Ian's the best.
Okay, all right.
Who was there while I was there? There's a guy called MacDara Kelleher who's a movie producer who has made lots of really big Irish movies.
Sounds cool. He's got two second names.
2 second names, yeah. Daniel O'Hara, my best mate from school, is a TV drama director, would have made a lot of Doctor Who. He would have made... Look, I've known to challenge Osama bin Laden.
Yeah. So Dom Jolly was in a school in Lebanon. And he went back to make... He's talked about this. He actually did it on Would I Lie to You. And it's so old that it was on Would I Lie to You. Angus Deaton was hosting at that point. It's He's pre-Rob Brydon. And he talked about it recently on a podcast that I was on before called the Have a Word podcast. It's a big podcast in the UK, in Liverpool. And he said he went back to his old school, which is oddly a Christian Quaker school in Lebanon. And he went in...
Osama bin Laden went to a Christian Quaker school in Lebanon.
Yeah, his main interests were porridge and international terrorism. That was the big thing. He sat there planning revenge against the Flavins. Right? Flavins. One day his overnight notes weren't as good as he expected them to be, and then he planned 9/11.
This is all Odlum's fault.
This is that damn owl. So he went back to film. Dom Jolly went back to film in his old school.
Okay.
And his fixer disappeared, right? And the principal comes out and goes, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "Well, I'm doing a documentary, I'm going to film it in this school." I went to this school, and she goes, the fixer didn't do what the fixer was meant to do.
Oh, and
right?
tell the principal or whatever.
And she goes, get out. And he goes, I'm kind of a big deal in the BBC and probably your biggest ex-pupil, to be honest with you. And she's like, well, you're not. He goes, no, pretty much. I think I'm your biggest ex-pupil. And she went, no. Osama bin Laden went to this school. And he went, oh. So he was in school. Now, Osama bin Laden is older than Dom Johnny, so they weren't in classes like that.
But at the same time that he was there.
At the same time that he was there. And that's how he found out.
That is wild.
I mean, it kind of brings you back down to earth, though, as well, if you think you're the,
Yeah. I mean, I do have a lot of guys I can think back to in school who I think may well have had the potential to become international super terrorists. But they just got a job in finance instead.
Yeah, just lacked the application.
Yeah. Just weren't quite motivated enough. Their porridge was fine.
Yeah, on a completely separate note, we'd like to say hello to PwC, KPMG, BDO, Simpson Xavier, or whatever they're all called. Okay, that's our first little tidbit for you.
Amazing.
That's a bit dodgy.
It is a bit.
I have a lovely second one for you.
Go on.
What are you going to do when you retire?
Neil,
I'm going to have to look this up.
Okay,
now.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I bought a house in Dublin near the sea a week and a half before the 2008 crash. So I can't...
At the height of it then?
I can't tell you how expensive my house and how badly financed my mortgage is, where I don't think I will ever retire.
Were you criticising my bathroom because at some point you may have to live in it?
Yes.
You might have to downsize, and you were really looking around going, could I live here? Apart from being branded by the light fittings, could I live here?
Apart from having a mirrored solace tattoo on my head. Yeah, I don't see how retirement is possible for me.
Say you won the lotto, what would you do if you retired?
Don't play the lotto, but okay. Okay, if I won the lotto, I'll tell you what I would do, because I do know what I would do.
Okay.
I would...
So if you've no plan for retirement? No.
No.
Okay.
No. And I'm self-employed. I have a limited company, so I've never thought about a pension or anything like that. So it's just literally, what can my kids do for me? Which one of them is going to become wealthy enough to look after me in my dotage? Yeah, that's
good luck with that.
Thanks. Yeah. I would spend the rest of my days learning languages. That's what I want to do. I want to have enough free time that I can just get up in the morning and have conversations in languages with people who are interested in having conversations with me in those languages. Not the poor, reluctant people, for example, in my workplace who are from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And every day when I see them, I try and initiate some conversation in their language. And they're just like, I live in Ireland, I work in English, I'm here, everyone's here speaking English. Stop.
We should say he means Cahill, who's from Tipperary. So you're like, what's a crack?
Well,
so what are the hurling at the weekend? What are you? And Cahill's like, please, I live in Dublin now, please.
Stop.
Just because you put up my wall. Talking about languages, Barra has been in contact. Remember Barra sent us an amazing question last week about superpowers?
Yes.
He has been in contact again. Just stick with me for the Patreon episode because it involves languages.
Well,
okay, so that's your plan for retirement.
If you don't know, we have a Patreon.
Okay.
And on the Patreon, you can email us questions and we can answer your questions like Barra has. So please, if you're interested, go over there and give us a couple of quid, and you can find us on patreon.com and we are Why Would You Tell Me.
Like Barra's question, to give you a little taste, last week was you have to pick a superpower, and one of the questions was which one of these superpowers, you have to pick one of them, was like you can be invisible, but only in June, July and August. Wasn't that it?
Barra,
it was amazing.
Unbelievable.
You can heal anybody from any disease, but they have to have been a murderer. So, I mean, I think we should probably ring somebody for Barra, but okay, let me tell you, I came across this wonderful story because it has language and it has retirement in it, actually, right? Have you heard of the word umarell? Or umarell? It's an well, it's not an Italian word, actually. It's a kind of a regional Italian word. The word comes from a dialect spoken in the northern region of Emilia-Romagna.
Okay.
And umarell means little man, all right? Or directly
translated means man who fits under light bulb.
Fixture. I was about to say that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So yeah, but you know what it is?
Go on.
It specifically refers to. Do you know you've been to Italy? You know when you're in Italy and you see random little old lads, just looking at construction sites.
Yes.
That's what this is.
They have a name.
They have a name for it. You know, and they always have the hands behind the back.
They do.
And they're just looking.
Shirt and slacks.
And in summer, sometimes just shorts and no top, particularly in the southern regions. The Mezzogiorno, if you did it for your leaving cert. Just just making sure
Keeping
everything's
an eye.
going okay, right?
Yeah.
Like Dinny Byrne, like an Italian Dinny
Brilliant
Byrne from
reference
Glenroe.
again. We're so finger on the pulse.
I'm glad. Our American listeners, please look that up and be shocked at what happened between Fidelma and Miley.
They have a name.
They have a name for that.
Umarell.
It gets better than that. So they're gently mocked in Italian culture, popular culture, and there's been lots of comment about them in the last few years in particular. Well, some of the people in Italy, and particularly the people in councils in Italy, have said this is an untapped resource. We need to use these lads. Right? So an Italian city, Turin, they're going to be recruited as volunteers to report safety issues, security concerns, and undue delays to public works.
Stop.
Because they're looking at stuff anyway.
Yeah.
They're going, well, I wouldn't do it like that now. Do you remember Harry Enfield had a guy like that?
Yeah, that's right.
As was a retired guy. Well, basically, it's an Italian... It's always men for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
That is like to be paid to do the thing that you're already doing is always a great win.
They're not going to get paid, I don't think. Right? They're not going to get paid, but they're looking at stuff anyway. Some of these guys, of course, are ex-engineers, ex-builders, ex-plumbers.
I thought they were
ex-sparkies.
mostly just ex-whatevers, and they were just nosy outfits.
No, but I think there's a large degree of nosy outfits as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've met any men in your whole life, but we don't necessarily need a qualification to proffer an opinion. No. So there's lads just standing around going,
I think there's been
I wouldn't put that there.
there have been studies done where they have gone onto planes, I think, before they've taken off, because obviously we don't want to frighten anyone, and they've said, in the event of emergency, does anyone here think, they say,
you can fly a plane.
Like, in the event of emergency, do you think you could operate the manual door, like if you're sitting in the extra legroom?
Yeah.
They've said, do you think you could land this plane?
Yeah.
And like 70% of the lads just going, yeah. I reckon I could. Like, and what experience do you have? I just reckon I could do it. Like, if you taught me through it, I'll probably give it a go. Like, have you seen the inside of a cockpit? Like, it is one of the most incredibly complex environments you'll ever be in. Doesn't matter. We just all think, I give it a go.
But these are the same lads who think that, like, that would you take a point off Serena Williams?
Yes.
You're going, not in a million years. Has she just stepped off a ride in Action Park? Possibly if she's concussed.
Yes, head trauma and a broken shin.
Oh no! All her limbs are tied together. Is she currently bound to a radiator
and playing with her mouth?
Yeah. Is she facing the opposite direction? I am standing on something that will give me like 40 feet of height, and I can
lob it down.
Yeah. Not in a million years.
No.
But but some of these lads presumably have worked in the industries. So Simone Fisolo, a city councillor in Turin, came up with this idea. It's only a couple of weeks ago. Put forward a motion to the council entitled "Involvement of umarell in public construction sites." I'm just going for umarell.
I love it.
And it was passed resoundingly. 18 councillors in favour, 4 against. And he said there's a very high number of reconstruction sites all over the city.
If you spoke to anyone in construction anywhere in the world, not just there, they will tell you about the umarell. Like, I would say if you spoke to lads out here in the street, working for the council, fixing roads, planting trees and whatever, like, there's always somebody. There always someone come over, and they always have a plastic bag. Yeah, they're busy going off with their plastic bag full of we don't know what. Yeah, sausages, I presume. Yeah, and they're just heading off, and they're here we lads, what's going on there? What are you doing? Yeah, I remember I wouldn't have done like that in my day, but you go on there, yeah. Like doing the birthday hair thing, doing a bit of work, which just opens all doors, doesn't it? Yeah. So these lads, Italy's just gotten in post-pandemic, they've gotten 200 billion quid from the EU in post-pandemic funding. So they're doing a lot of their piazzas up and their amazing public squares up. A lot of work being done. So they're going to recruit these lads now, not paid. Don't have can't fine you or stop you doing something, but they can just go back to the organisation involved and go,
they can do that.
This is what I saw.
Hey. But they can say, listen, there's a delay on that. That's a safety issue. That's a breach. They can do that.
Incredible.
And that's in Turin. It's going to run for about 6 months as a pilot project, right? What I love is they're not necessarily the country or the city that came up with this. Pescara decided in 2020, because other cities have done this. He cited, the councillor cited Villa Santa, which is near Monza. They pioneered this concept in 2024 and got roving squads of volunteers, which is amazing. Just sounds like a bus to the bowls club, just roving around. It's like the Expendables. The Expendables 9 will just be Italian lads looking at random building projects.
RED is not a series of movies, Retired and Extremely Dangerous.
Is that it?
And it's all like Red, yeah.
I never knew that's what it stood
that's
for.
what it is, yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely class. Yeah, because I mean, sometimes I'll say, in all seriousness, when people retire, we can kind of tend to go, oh, you've outlived your usefulness.
100%.
And you're going, hold on, all these people are repositories of amazing wisdom and experience.
Absolutely.
And we will need that again. This is the thing that Pescara did. I absolutely love this. In 2020, they decided to make a special concession to umarell, okay? So they're looking anyway at construction sites.
Yeah.
But like, of course, a construction site has big panels.
You
can't see the hoarding.
The hoarding is there to protect what's going on inside from leaking out. If
It's safety issues. And all that stuff.
Yeah.
But sure, listen, we'll put a little glass panel in it, or a little transparent panel for the umarell to
At
look
head
in.
height.
Yeah, so the boys were looking in, just in the little glass panel,
Stop.
and that's what the city did.
That is brilliant.
Isn't that class?
That is so good.
That's one of my favourite things. I knew you'd like language. I knew you'd like Italy, and I knew you'd like DIY.
100%.
I mean, that's the Venn diagram.
I mean, if I was to find myself in a situation, what better way to learn Italian as a retired man than to go and stand with the umarell, watching what's going on, learning all the terms.
The Duolingo, what would the Duolingo thing would be? Who did your last Colosseum? Cowboys. I wouldn't put that pantheon there now. I wouldn't put that there. Okay.
Amazing.
And I've delved even deeper into your other interests for the last fact.
Okay.
You talked about your son scoring a penalty. He's an epic penalty taker.
He is a good penalty taker.
About
He's a good footballer.
We talked about the fact that we had previously spoken to an expert in penalties and how intricate penalties are.
Yeah.
But if I asked you who invented it, this seems to be a gap in our knowledge. And why did we not know this?
Who invented penalties?
And would it surprise you to know it was a fella from Armagh?
Stop. No, it wasn't.
An Irishman invented the concept of penalties. Yeah. William McCrum was his name.
Come on, William.
I'm going to show you a picture of William McCrum.
All right.
I want you to tell me what you think of William McCrum. Look at that handsome devil.
What a devil is right, lads.
How would you describe him now?
He would be the classically handsome
19th century dandy sort of look.
Yeah. He's beautiful. But manly, with the moustache, the little curls in the hair, and he's wearing what looks like, I presume it was a football top, but a rugby top. Now we'd probably call it.
Yeah,
he's devilishly good looking.
He's a devilishly good looking. He's exactly what he is. So, son of a millionaire linen manufacturer, Robert McCrum, and he was from Milford.
Right.
In County Armagh. So, born in 1865, he grew up just outside Milford. Now, the granddad and the dad linen mill, loads and loads of money. So the town is established around the mills. Lots of those places.
Yeah.
All the cottages and all the rest, it would have been built by the mill owner. So that's what his granddad and his dad did. So Robert McCrum, his dad, was an innovative linen merchant, amassed an absolute fortune. God-fearing, very prudent, passed it on. William, not that interested.
Right.
His great-grandson in The Guardian said he was apparently great crack, funny, loved sports. But he was known in Milford as Master Willie. So, as if he kind of didn't grow up.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said this back in 2004. Willie liked to drive around the town in his Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce in County Armagh in those days.
Early 1900s.
And was known for losing a fortune at the casinos in Monte Carlo. So he was not great. Wow. He was better at losing money than he was at making the money.
But good looking, rich,
very good
playboy
looking,
attitude.
Bit of it, yeah. Was at one point the High Sheriff of Armagh, would you believe? Went to Trinity.
Who
in
didn't?
1886.
I should have said I went with him.
Yeah, the inventor of the penalty. He in 1890, he's the goalkeeper for the local club, Milford FC.
Right.
In the 1890 to 1891 Irish Football League, it was during that time he came up with the idea of introducing the penalty kick for unsportsmanlike behaviour. He played 14 games for Milford FC in that season. How many goals do you think they conceded in 14 games?
In a 14-game season.
I mean, I would have thought you'd approach the goal and just be mesmerised by his good looks.
And he would just pounce down at your feet.
Pounce, or just maybe drop you his number. The vicarage, number 4.
I would imagine the game has gotten progressively more defensive as time has gone on.
You think?
So I would think the 1890s, when football was just beginning, I would imagine, goals were a lot more common. So I will say in a 14-game season, he conceded 25 goals.
61 goals.
Jeepers.
61 goals. You'd imagine the ball had hit off you a few times. He must have not even been in the goals at that point. Yeah. During that campaign, he came up with this idea. Now, the standard set of rules for the Football Association, the Football Association was set up in 1861. Standard set of rules for football came in at that point, okay? That banned players from running with the ball with their hands and kicking the shins.
Sure, all that stuff,
right?
yeah.
But when he came up with this idea, massive consternation, massive pushback.
Yeah.
The idea that Victorian gentlemen would deliberately do anything unsportsmanlike or foul is just an insult to the honour of everybody playing that noble game.
Fast forward a few years, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones, Luis Suarez biting the face off you. Yeah, and all the stuff that happens in the penalty area now. So the stuff, it was dubbed as the death penalty in England.
Okay.
It was dismissed as the Irishman's motion because he
brought it to the FA. Right.
Yeah. The well-known sportsman C.B. Fry, who I've heard of, who captained the London-based Corinthian FC, described the idea as a standing insult to a sportsman to have to play under a rule which assumes the players intend to trip, hack, and kick their opponents. Yeah. And behave like cads of the most unscrupulous kidney. Have you ever heard of cads? Can we rename the podcast to Cads of the Most Unscrupulous Kidney?
If we don't, we're missing out on a massive opportunity for merchandise.
Epic. I never heard of kidney being described as an insult. So the idea that somebody would cheat.
But lo and behold, we have it.
So what happened then, after some serious casualties, which would befit Action Park, they left him out of town. But then, I think it was next year. Yeah.
They got it in.
The first penalty was awarded at a competitive game in Scotland the following January. At their home ground at Broomfield Park, Airdrieonians FC were awarded the honour. Yeah. And a few months later, in June 1891, the IFAB met once again to discuss Macrum's proposal at the Alexandra Hotel in Glasgow. The motion was put forward by an Irish delegate and seconded by an English one, and they decided they would have.
And since then, we have penalties.
Since then, we have penalties.
Unbelievable.
Officially added to the rule book on the 2nd of June, 1891.
I love it.
Yeah. There you go.
So good. Go on the Irish, lads.
I thought you'd like that. Stick with us if you love this sort of nonsense. Go on to our Patreon. Throw us a few quid, as you would say, to hear the extra episode, which is
every
questions,
week.
Answers, and weird stuff
yeah.
in between. And if you want any questions, just answer. Just email wwytmt@podcast@gmail.com.
No, not at podcast. Start again.
If you want any of your questions answered,
leave all this in.
Just use telepathy to send your question to me, and I will ask the question.
You could have come up with any email. You could have just said
wwytmtpodcast@gmail.com.
You could have, yeah.
I didn't come up with the email.
Well, you employed someone to come up with. This is all you. This is all you.
Relax, Mulvihill. Don't be just spreading the blame.
This is the kind of behaviour of exactly the type of person who would install a light fitting too low in a bathroom.
Hold on. First of all, you think I certainly didn't install it. And secondly, I wanted a bathroom to make you think you always were having ideas. So you're sitting there going, I don't know. Bing! And then suddenly you can't see out of either eye.
No.
You've got you have some sort of carcinoma. God love you. But ideas are plenty.
So many.
Yeah.
That's why this podcast exists.
Yeah. So listen to Dave on the radio, 9 to 12 on Today FM. And I am always adding gigs. I'm doing the Olympia on May the 8th. The TF Royal in Mayo, which is a massive room. Have I told you about playing there before?
No.
Oh, did I not tell you that?
No.
So there's two big rooms there. There's a massive room and then there's a smaller room. And I was doing the smaller room, a couple of nights in the smaller room one year. Yeah. I went in and Enda Kenny's Homecoming as Taoiseach was in the massive room. And somebody went to that gig thinking it was my gig.
Oh my God.
And Michael Ring, the local TD, was the support act. And they were like, this support act? I mean, he's really enthusiastic, but the jokes are shit. He doesn't have one. He's talking about Fine Gael policy. He doesn't have one solid joke. And then the Olympian September the 20th, and London Pals as well.
Yeah.
So come along, they're all on my website.
NeilDelamere.com/gigs. He knows that one. Thanks, Neil.
Bye.